Hi, everybody. Myself is Kumar. I'm a real estate agent at Remax Saskatoon. I am an active investor in real estate. At the same time, I own a construction company where I have 20 houses to build this year, and Dapo is one of my clients. So, Dapo, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Dapo, and I've known Kumar for a long time now, and I have some questions for Kumar, and because he does real estate, so he's the right man to answer the questions.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that you feel like I'm the person to talk to about real estate. That's good.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
So, Dapo, how should we begin? Where should we start? What's your question that you would like to ask?
Just basically put it like this: real estate for beginners. Let's just go from there. Like, how much you can make, things like that. Like, if you don't know anything about real estate, where do you?
So let me explain your topic.
What do you need to know?
Let me explain your question this way: that real estate for the beginners, like beginners in what sense? Like as an investor or as a first-time home buyer? There's two different things. When it comes to first-time home buyer, we can talk about that in a different video. But I think we are more interacting here with regarding to as an investor.
Yes, to make money from it.
To make money out of that. Okay, perfect. So just let me know if just correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. So as I understand, you wanted to say that, okay, first time if you wanted to start investing money into real estate, what should you be doing? As you know, the bank understand that if you are investing money into real estate, you need to deposit like 20% down. It's only your first home or it's only your primary home where you can do 5% down. It's not on your investment property. I have met like so many investors who have a problem of putting down 20%. So in that case, what they do is they make because you don't have to let the bank know about is it your first home or is it your second home, because bank, what they consider is what is your primary home. And if you make that as your primary home, which when you're buying, then all you have to do is a 5% down. And with putting that 5% down for whatever price range the house is, the first thing that you need to see is what is the cost. As an investment part, you always look at the cheapest that you can buy in the market. You don't want with the most expensive, because the good investment is the investment where your cost is the minimum and your outcome is the maximum. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Did I answer your first question about the first time?
Yeah. So obviously, the avenue I'm going is the investment part. So,
yes.
So yeah, but you're saying if I go down that path, that I should. Well, I have to make it that the bank doesn't know that I'm an investment, so I don't have.
It's not the bank doesn't know. It's just like, because your house, you can make your house as an investment as well. So what I'm saying is that if you're moving into your house, if it's your primary house, then basically you don't have to put a 20% down. And later on, you can move out and you can make the whole property as an investment, buy your second primary house. That's totally up to you.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay, good.
Well, I had this question. Why I'm looking at my phone here is because I wrote some questions for you. What is the difference? What are the pros and cons of buying a new house or constructing a new house, which I know you do?
Can you be a little louder? I think your mic is...
What are the differences between... Is that better?
A little bit, yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Is that better?
Yeah, that's
better.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I said, what are the... I know you do construction. What are the pros and cons of building a new house versus buying an existing house?
Okay, there's a pros and cons for both cases, I would say. Let's talk about pros. Like when you buy a new house, it comes with a warranty. When you buy a new house, it comes with everything brand new. And I think it's easier to attract the tenants when it's a newer house, because they just fell for that and they're just okay with paying the maximum that you wanted as a rent. That's the benefit, I would say, for the new house. And there's a lot more. For example, I just mentioned, there's a lot like things are just done, like new. So there's chances of getting it damaged, chances of getting it not working is very minimum. And if there's anything wrong, at least the builder is going to take care of it because you have a new home warranty. That's a major part. What is a good thing about the old house? Yes, it's cheaper. And second, that it's in a matured location, which I think a lot of tenants would like to go, definitely. And what else? And I think the major advantage that you get is that exterior is all done. That means you don't have to worry about the fencing, you don't have to worry about landscaping, you don't have to worry about anything exterior because people already live there. It's a mature place. But now let's talk about the cons of a brand new house. Is a little expensive, that's for sure. But when you compare the brand new house with the old house, there's always a cost of fixing that comes with the old house, which is not with the brand new house. Do you understand what I mean? So there's if you, let's suppose something breaks into the old house and which is done according to the previous code, and then now you are fixing it. So obviously what you have to do is you have to do it according to the latest code, which brings an extra cost or unexpected cost, I would say. You never know. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
But when it comes to the new build, you know that the warranty is already going to take care of it. So when you are a landlord, just assume that you are a landlord now. Now you tell me, if there's a tenant living down there in your property, what do you think is a peace of mind for you? Is it like I'm sorry, I was just getting a call. So what do you think is a peace of mind for you? Is it like worrying about the phone call that, hey, my tap is not working, there's a leakage, or something got burnt out, the tripped, and you have to worry about in the middle of the night how I can get that fixed? Or peace of mind that, okay, if anything goes wrong, you have the builder to take care of your property, at least for the first year for sure. But at the same time, because the house is new, nothing related is going to be that big of a damage to your new property.
Which is huge, which adds up. Those kind of bills add up. So I prefer the other option, which is new house, where we don't have to, where it's like under a warranty basically for a year.
Yes, because everything is done according to the latest code. So if there's anything to be fixed, so let's suppose your warranty has expired and it's been like past 5 years or 10 years, that everything that has to be fixed. That doesn't mean that you have to spend fortune or there's an unexpected cost. You obviously have to spend $100 to $200 maybe, but not like a major, or maybe not like any unexpected expense, I would say.
Because you're saying for the old houses, if they need to fix something, they need to update it to the latest code. Whereas the new house,
and how the codes always change. But when it comes from changing the code from old house, let's say the old house is like 1960. You bought a 1960s house. The code have changed after every certain time. So now the code is like so drastic change. Just the cost of fixing is, or just the cost to change is like so huge that is like overwhelming. But when it compares to, like, let's say the house we build and after 10 years you're fixing anything, and whatever the change of the code is not that of a major big of a deal, because you can still get along, or you can still spend a little bit to get to that level of code,
That makes sense. Well, could you start with the numbers? Because I know you're going to give me some numbers here on how much, now that we've agreed that, or now that we both understand is the investment part I want to be in, what are the numbers that you can show to prove this?
With the numbers, okay, so let's take a number. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, on a second screen, I'm going to do like a whiteboard presentation.
Okay,
so I guess now you can see the whiteboard. Okay. So let's start with the house worth $350,000. I'm just giving one example, which is a reasonable price for the house, $350,000, just to keep the cost as less as possible. So when you buy a house for $350,000, this house has a top floor and the house also has a basement suite. All right. So when you buy a house for $350,000, how much is your mortgage? Let's say your mortgage for every $100,000 is $450. So for $350,000, your mortgage would be
$2,300.
No, mortgage.
I don't know. $1,575.
Yeah. I'm just telling you how it works. Every 100,000, it's $450. So 350,000, it's 450 times 3.5. You get my point? You get this point? How
Yes.
Okay. So for every, like, let's suppose your house is 100,000, your mortgage is $450 per month. Your house is 200,000, your mortgage is $900 per month. And your house is 300,000, that's how it goes up. So times 3.5, because 350,000 divided by 100,000. So your mortgage is 1575. Okay.
Okay. You can just approximate like 1,600.
Yeah. So let's say
1,600, sir.
Yeah, let's do it that way. 1,600. Okay. That's your mortgage. And then how much is your utility cost? Taxes, not utility. Your property tax, roughly around $200 per month. Okay. So if your taxes is 200 and your mortgage is 1,600, is there any other expenses to your house?
Electric bills and all that, but
are you the one who's paying or your tenant is paying?
Tenant.
So you don't have to worry about the electrical expense. All you have to worry about the mortgage and taxes. Total comes up to $1,800. Am I correct?
Yes.
Perfect. So the house that we are building here is $350,000. That's like a main floor that you can rent it out, and basement suite. So the main floor, let's stay very conservative number in Saskatoon, in Aspen Ridge, where we are building this. The main floor would give you rent of $1,500, $1,500 plus utilities. And basement, if you rent it out, gives you around $800 plus utilities. Are you here? Are you with me here? So the total rent that you're getting from that house is $2,300. Okay. So save this number and save this number in your head. So my expense, no, I should write down the profit first. My total rent is $2,300. My expense is $1,800. My cash flow, $500. Am I correct here? Yes or no?
Yes.
Perfect. So now you're with me. That $500, this is per month. So for 12 months, it's $6,000. For 12 months, the total rent that I make, the total cash flow that I make, $6,000.
Yeah.
You got it? Okay. Remember this number. Okay. So now, as we know, the mortgage is $1,800. $1,600 is my mortgage, not $1,800. $1,600 is my mortgage. So as we know, that mortgage has two parts. One is a principal and another is the interest. So this mortgage that we are paying, $1,600, has a principal part, which comes as an equity, and another one is the interest part, which goes to the bank. That's the bank's profit. So first 5 years, the bank is charging you more interest and less principal. So I'm not even doing 50-50, that is $800. Let's say your principal is $500 per month, and your interest is the rest of the money, which is $1,100 you're making per month. You're giving to bank per month. Okay?
Okay.
Are you with me? So this money is like your expense. But this money is coming back to you as an equity. So what do you think would be for per year, this money? $500 per month, your
$6,000 equity.
Perfect. 6,000, you are saving money in your equity every year. And how much was the profit that you were making every year?
$6,000.
6,000 as your profit. So you know that at time when you sell your house, even if you sell the house for the same price, or you get the money, same 350,000 back on your pocket, how much money are you making after a year?
$12,000.
12,000. 12,000 is what you're making after you sell your house, after you stop the business, everything. And if you sell the same house for higher price, whatever extra cash that you make is on top of it. Let's suppose you sold it for 380,000. So which is like around 30,000 more. So you add 30,000 to this 12,000. So 12,000 is almost like guaranteed. And the reason why I'm saying is because the house that we are doing, as you know, Dapo, that I'm doing, if you're doing in a volume as an investor, then I'm doing it for cost plus a certain profit amount that I charge you, a service amount, I would say. So that particular house in the market should sell for minimum of $380,000 instead of $350,000. Same property that I'm selling you. Do you get my point?
Yes.
So if I take that number, 380,000, that means like if you sell the house for 380, so your profit is 30 grand. So in this case, what you do is you add 30,000, total comes up to 42,000.
42.
That's once when you close your business. Once when you close this, okay, I'm not going to have any more rental property. This is what I'm going to do after end of the year. This is what you make. And that's like, I'm talking about the conservative market.
That's if you sell the house. If you don't sell the house, it's just be
12
$6,000
grand.
though.
Well, let's say 6 grand. Yeah, 6 grand.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I'm coming from here is that, every year you can have as a profit from one property as a $6,000. And if you have a property like that, like 10 of them, then you multiply with 10, which is $60,000 per year. How much is your income, if you don't mind me, per year?
Well,
close to this number?
60. Yes.
But is it close to this number is what I meant.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of trying, with the 10 properties, it can almost like replace your income. You don't have to worry about it. You get it?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So Dapo, previously we discussed about the numbers, how that worked out for any investor if they're putting money into the property around 350,000. So I hope you got that explanation.
Yes, I got it.
Perfect. So now your another question was that how that coronavirus is affecting the real estate market.
Yes, I have a friend. Well, we have a friend who is curious about that question right now, how it's affecting the real estate.
Like, is it that he wants to do that business as a real estate?
The investment is same path I'm going.
But when it comes to real estate investment, what are you considering? Like, is he like gonna build and sell, or is he gonna build and rent? What he is planning to do?
The mission is what makes the maximum money. So if it's the build and selling that makes the maximum, build and selling every year, or build and then wait a couple of years and then sell, or build, which is the third option, build and then just sit on it, have 10 houses, like you said, to make 60 grand, whatever makes the maximum money is what he's going for.
Okay. So Dapo, as you understand economics, how it works in Canada, or I think most part of the world, is that there's always a graph that goes up and down. It's like a 5 to 7 year of a what do you call, like a trough and the, like a head and the downs. So what happens is the economy goes up and economy goes down. There's always like a 5 year up and down wave. So I would say, yes, coronavirus, there's an effect on people's mindset of that, okay, I don't want to go and see the property. It's not that they don't want to buy the property, because the need of the shelter is still there. Do you understand? Like the people, if they need a house, they need a house.
Yeah.
And if they think that, okay, my money is drained out in a rental property, then probably they would definitely consider going for the house. Do you understand what I mean?
Mhm.
So the only reason why people might be skeptical on buying any house is people who are really worried about their employment. Are they going to stay employed or not? If that's the worry, then that's a totally different scenario when it comes to the employment. But if you think that you already qualified, you think that you already have enough money and you are into the investment field, then I don't think this should be an issue for you.
Mm. Okay, what he's saying is like right now, or this is some of the questions. I'm just channeling him.
Yes.
What he's saying is, right now, a lot of people can't afford houses. So, if say we buy a house for 300, which is a good deal, I'm sure that's a good deal that you're giving
Okay.
us. But would there be, when we want to sell the house, would there be people that want to buy the house right then? Because there'll be so many houses being evicted, or I should say, evicted because so many people can't afford mortgages right now because they don't have a job. So there'll be much more supply of houses than demand. And he's saying that if we buy the house at that price,
Can you prove me this thing with numbers?
No, I mean, I don't have the numbers.
That's the thing. I mean, like, you need to get the proof. Like, you need to have a numbers. Like, right now, people are not listing just because they're not comfortable letting the people see their house. People are desperate, want to sell the house, but they're not comfortable letting people come and see their house. Second, if you know that the government of Canada, they have allowed 6 months of deferral. Like, the banks are doing 6 months of a deferral for the mortgage. So even the people who are desperate are not desperate for at least 6 more months.
Mhm.
So this coronavirus is not that they are losing the job, and they are getting, but it's all, most of them are temporary, and even if it's permanent, they can still defer their mortgage. So you understand how people take things in Canada is like, right now, what do I have right now? If I have a job, I go buy a house. If I don't have a job, I don't buy a house. That's how they do it. But right now they're in a relaxed state of mind where, as you see, that they already have mortgage deferred. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if the mortgage is deferred, let's suppose you have a liability, which is a mortgage, and bank have deferred for 6 months from today. Are you worried about your mortgage for 6 months, even though you have a job or not? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So second is, when it comes for buying, you're not buying because if people can afford to buy or not. You're buying because you wanted to make money. That's why I asked you, what is your intention to do? Are you intending to build it and sell it, or are you intending to build it and rent it and get the equity out at a later stage when the market becomes better? That is a smart way of investment. As an investor, you don't think like a consumer. You think a little different. That's why you're an investor.
Yeah.
So when you invest money onto the real estate, what you see is that, okay, right now, market good or bad doesn't matter. People still need shelter. And if I were to build a house or buy a house and have it rented out for a time frame till the house or the market becomes stabilized, and I sell my house to get all my equity back plus my profit, don't you think that's what the investors do?
Yes. Well, somebody's probably buying like crazy right now. You're wealthy.
Like this, due to this coronavirus, I don't know if it affected anywhere else or not, but we have closed like I would say 6 transactions in the last 2 months.
Okay. Your company has?
Yes. 6 transactions in the last 2 months we have closed. And because people are not worried about this coronavirus. They know that this at one point is going to go away. Even though there was a possession of one property which was in end of January. I had one client who took the possession of the property, and all of a sudden this lockdown thing, and him scared of losing his job. Guess what he did? He called the bank and he deferred the mortgage for 6 months. He moved to the house today, and after 5 days he called the bank and deferred his mortgage. So why would he be worried about? And what he would be worried about?
So for 6 months he's not paying.
For 6 months he's not paying, but this is not like a generalized issue. This is only because of the coronavirus issue that the government and the bank working together, trying to make easy on people. They do have to pay the interest and all, but right now they don't have to worry about the payment because they're not making nothing right now.
So say the mortgage was supposed to be 25 years. So now that it's deferred, it's between 25 years and 6 months.
Exactly. That's how it works.
So you won't be penalized for
No, and it won't affect your credit rating or anything. So these are the steps that government is taking on making sure that people are not suffering. That's a good thing of living in this country.
I feel like there's always a consequence though, you know.
There always will be, but that's totally a different topic that we are discussing. But there would be a consequence, and that consequence might be that you have to pay an interest on it. Yes, you may have to pay 6 months of interest on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, what I'm saying is, you don't have money. What are you going to think about? If you don't have money and I'm asking for money, what are you going to think about? Are you going to think about the interest, or are you going to think about, man, please defer, and I'm okay with paying interest later on, but I don't have money right now.
Yeah, but then the bank has you by the balls if for 6 months extra if they know that you don't have any money right now.
Yes, and they are approving anybody without even any question. Like, you just go online, you apply, and they get approved right away. So you don't have to think about nothing.
Anyway, so in this coronavirus epidemic, which is going to pass, do you think there will be renters? Because that's what I always look at.
Renters, people need shelter, man. Tell me when there is no renters.
Well, they need shelter, but at a good price. So at the prices that you mentioned, you know, at 1,500.
There will be renters. Yes, there would be renters. Yes, why not? There would be renters. And my second thing is that this coronavirus situation, the Bank of Canada's interest rate had went down. I'm not making up this story. The Bank of Canada interest rate has come down, so that's why it's the best time to get approved and get the mortgage, and get a house.
Mm.
You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I understand.
So you have a least expense, and when the time comes for you to find the tenants, just go and look into the place where you find tenants or where people look for a house. You still will see there's a lot of people looking for houses.
Okay.
Because people need shelter, and if their lease is expiring and they wanted to move out, they want to move out. People don't go and change the place because they can't pay rent at one place. The reason why they do is because they wanted to move to a different location. Mm-hmm. And most preferred location is on the east side of Saskatoon.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Now your another question, I think, was
Toronto
market versus Saskatoon market.
Mm-hmm. I have a friend that's curious about that.
Okay.
Ontario.
Toronto, Ontario, Vancouver, or any other big cities than Saskatoon, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, he thinks Saskatoon is like a village.
A preferred location, yes, it's a village. I'll take that. Preferred village where a lot of people like to move in, because the cost of living is very low compared to other places. Mm-hmm. And I think Dapo, you would agree too.
Yes.
Going from one location to another location is not more than 20 minutes.
In Saskatoon, yes.
In Saskatoon. So commuting is easy. You have more family time. You have a better, it's a flat land, yes. And Saskatoon has the highest sunlight that you get throughout the year. It's the most preferred location, I would say. The only reason people move out is because of they want to be in a, I would say, town, not in a village.
So, well, the pros and cons. Well, financially is what I'm saying. Investment-wise, what are the pros and cons of
now? Okay, for $350,000, what can you buy in Ontario, and what can you buy in Saskatoon?
A little hut. You can buy a hut in Ontario, yes. Probably.
And
so you're saying everything is probably the same. It's just the amount of money you have to put for the same house you get in Saskatoon is.
Like, you can buy a townhouse which is worth $280,000 here in Saskatoon. The same townhouse is worth more than $500,000 in Toronto or a big city.
Okay.
So that's why people would prefer to stay in Saskatoon or Saskatchewan over Toronto. And most of the people from outside province have purchased house here as an investment.
Okay. So yes, we can. Yeah. I guess you can just do that, whereby, because I'm not going to live in the house.
No, you don't have to live in the house, but you can buy an investment property anywhere. And I think most preferred is in Saskatoon right now because of cost of living, I said. And if you charge a right amount rent, and if you are a nice landlord, and I think you won't have any vacancy rate in your house. Like, as you know, that I've been a landlord since 2011, and the maximum time I had my vacant property, just one floor, was a month, and that too I had to kick the tenant out because she was not taking care of it. And I found another tenant who's paying $100 more than what she was paying before.
So in 9 years, just
and
one
not
month.
only, and also not on a very preferred location. It is a preferred location. It's a good location, but not a very preferred location as an east side. That's where I'm asking more, because I allow pets and I make sure that my property is all upkept and no issues. If there is anything, I just take care of it right away.
Okay.
I'm a good landlord.
I don't know about that, but let me see. I think you've answered all my questions for now. Yeah, I think so. Unless there's anything else you want to say.
I think your another question was the odds of getting a consistent renters.
Yeah, but you answered that already. In 9 years, you got you only went out of rent for just 1 month, right?
Yes, but again, there are people who are not getting consistent renters just because they're not a good landlord. Because when you put your property in a market, you always wanted to interview people. You don't want to get it to anybody randomly, not because of the rent, because your property as well. If they damage anything, they're going to devaluate it. So what you have to do is you interview them. There's some sort of a life experience that you use, some sort of a personal thing that you use to find out that if that person is the right person to have live in my property or not. Like, you can't let anybody come to your house. You always filter them. So you have to make sure that you filter your tenants. Can they pay rent? Are they good? Are they nice? Are they going to take care of my property as if it's their own? All those criteria. And if you do that, then I think there shouldn't be any problem. You obviously will get consistent renters. And what most of the people here want is they have a pet. They want a place where their pet can also stay with them. If you allow their pets, and I think that's a very positive sign to get your place rented faster. Yes, you do charge for the pet as a pet deposit, a non-refundable pet deposit, which I think is sort of an income to you, but you can add that, and people are willing to pay for it if you allow them to have the pets in the house.
Okay.
And I think your one question that I see is there ever a time not to buy?
Yeah.
When you don't have any money.
When you don't have, okay.
That's the only time, because the first thing what you need to see is, can I feed myself?
So always a buying spree, always until then. Well,
yes. I hope I answered all of your questions.
Well, all my questions right now, definitely answered them. If I come up with more, I can always leave them in the comments. And
yes.
I'll definitely send this to as many people as I know, so we can discuss,
Sure.
But thank you very much, Kumar.
Just feel free to call me or just share my number as well. I'll have the number on the screen.
Okay. So my other question is about acreage. What are your thoughts on getting an acreage?
Acreages. Just wanted to let you know about the acreages, that why you intending to buy an acreage. Just wanted to get.
Well, say because land is very valuable, right? So that's just for investment. Everything is investment. So
if you buy an acreages for investment, then you're looking for any acreage which is close to town and where you can do a development. Like, for example, if you wanted to make multiple parcels and then sell it, or make multiple parcels, like, you have to make sure that you develop the acreages. Like, you develop into a residential place, you develop into multiple parcel and sell it, then only it's a fruitful. But where is it more profitable to buy? Close to town. If you buy, like, let's say an hour away from town, who's going to go there and buy the lots or build a house there? You understand? So I think there's a lot of things that you have to consider when you buy an acreage as an investment. And if you know that city is going to grow that direction and you buy an acreage close to that perimeter, then chances are that city might buy you out from that, and then you get a money that you feel like you should get for that property and that lot. Only then. So there's a lot of different criteria, parameters that you have to look into it. Not just any acreage you buy it in cheap and then later you get the same value. No, it doesn't work that way. So truly speaking, you have to work with a real estate agent who is more qualified into that field, who can help you, guide you. Definitely, if somebody are willing to buy in Saskatchewan, I'm definitely gonna be able to help them. But out of province, I can suggest them who they should be consulting. Like if it is Ontario, Manitoba.
So you are saying acreage is good as long as you put it in a good location.
Yes, location matters a lot. That's what we always say in real estate: location, location, location. It's all about location.